Good afternoon, White Plains. Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there with Facebook. Good afternoon, or good evening, or good morning, or whenever you're able to tune in for this short Facebook live update. As a reminder, if you can't ever make these updates live, that's totally okay. We'll archive all of the videos both on the district's website and also here on the district's Facebook page. Also, if you have questions, comments, or concerns about anything at all, please feel free to reach out to us at any time. You can always email, you can call us in the office, however it's most convenient for you. This is a short update today, but we do have some items that I just wanted to go through with you, share with you. We have some questions that were submitted, and as always, I'll do my best to answer any questions that might pop up as we're going through today's update. But most importantly, would like to wish all of you a very happy beginning of the academic year. I hope September, which today's the last day, that's mind-boggling to think about it. Hopefully your September was going smoothly. And I'll tell you, from the feedback that we've been receiving from parents and guardians, and most importantly from our kids, it's been a great month back. A lot of excitement, a lot of activities, and a lot of, let me say this, a more feeling of a typical school year, which is great. That's what we want for our kiddos. We want them to be engaged and excited about coming to school every day. And hopefully, moms, dads, and guardians and loved ones are also feeling good about all of those things as well. Huge thanks to everybody in the school district for, as always, all of your support, all of your hard work and dedication on behalf of our children. Also, major thanks to the Board of Education for your continued support. A lot of hard work behind the scenes and out in front of the scenes, as always, and we're really greatly appreciative of that. Holidays are in and around and upon us, and for those of you celebrating and going to be celebrating, we certainly wish you all the very best, to you and to your families. Lots to celebrate here in the district, and we're really excited to be doing that in person again. So all really good things. Student achievement is one of the most important things you can think about anytime we as teachers are thinking about our children's growth and progression. And we recognize that for every single child, that's going to look a little bit different. As always, we're encouraging all of our parents and guardians to really make those strong home to classroom, home to school connections, so that we can learn from you and from what you're seeing with your child, and how we can best support your child when they're here with us at school. A really great way to do that is to join the PTA. If you haven't joined the PTA yet, please consider doing so. It is an amazing organization here in the school district, and let me tell you, they really make everybody feel welcome. You might be saying to yourself, I just don't have time to go to another meeting. That's okay. The level of time that you have to be able to volunteer for PTA activities is going to be completely based on what you can do. And I'm sure, and I know for a fact that the PTA understands that. But being a part of the PTA and being a member and having a voice in all of the great activities and supports that they provide for our children is really important. It also goes a long way to show our children that we're involved in what's going on in their school day and in the activities and events that take place after school. Listen, I have the worst attendance record of every parent in terms of PTA meetings and events for my children, but I still join. And that's really important. And hopefully you will consider, if you haven't yet joined the PTA, to do that today. Athletics and activities are going on all over the school district. We're really proud of our Tigers. We've had so far really a great and exciting fall season. And all of our sporting events and all of those activities are available on our district website. Please check them out. Come on out. If you have little ones who are not part of sports yet, consider bringing them out to a game. I know that we're in the process right now of planning for another Tiger Cubs evening at a White Plains high school football game. So keep an eye out for that update as well. That's always a fun night for our kiddos. But to our student athletes, keep doing the great job that you've been doing. You really, once again, another season have been showing the entire section, the entire region, why White Plains is such a special place. and we're really proud of all of your efforts there too, and in the classroom as well. So, you know, when we talk about student achievement, when we talk about student engagement, when we talk about the importance of the positive connection between the home and the classroom and the building, all of those factors come into play, and really excited to see everything ramping up the way it's been ramping up so far this fall. All great things to report. You know, joy of learning is something, we talked about this at the opening of school this year. The joy of learning is something we really want to preserve and cultivate in our children. Many of us, for one reason or another, during our schooling years, maybe lost a bit of joy, and it became onerous and it became stressful. We don't want that for our kids. We want them to understand that while there is a level of discipline that's required to do schoolwork and study and do homework and attend to those responsibilities, it should also be a fun and joyful experience. It doesn't have to be stressful and anxiety provoking and just all around hard, or feeling like I'm not able to do it. And it shouldn't be that way. Everybody here in the school district is ready and willing to assist our children with anything that they need. So if you're experiencing something at home, maybe as homework has started to come home a bit this month, you're seeing your child's stress or anxiety levels start to creep up, please make sure you're reaching out and connecting with your child's your child's classroom teacher, and share what you're seeing at home with the teacher so that they are better prepared to be able to assist as we continue on into the academic year. Again, we want to really cultivate a feeling of joy. We want kids to be excited about coming to school every day. All right, maybe not every day, but most days. And we really want to try to limit the level of anxiety that parents and guardians are feeling at home too. We recognize that the last thing you need is more stress. So we're trying to figure out additional ways, always, to reduce stress, maximize love, maximize joy, maximize happiness. And we think that will go a long way to keeping our children engaged and keeping them joyful about learning so that they become adults who consider learning to be part of their life, and not something that ends at graduation from high school or ends at graduation from college. Quick update, we have administrative search that's going on over at Ridgeway Elementary. There will be ongoing updates that come out about the search for the permanent principal. Right now we have, and we're very fortunate and very excited to have, Dr. Kimberly Crawford as our interim principal as the search is progressing, and we will continue to keep everybody updated in the Ridgewood community as that process moves forward with Mr. Pepper and the Human Resources Department as well. COVID-19 is still with us. Fortunately, we are not seeing the types of numbers that we saw in the past, but it's a different landscape, to be sure. We understand that. With a change in what's required from the New York State Department of Health. Reporting requirements have changed as well. Of course, all of that information is available to you. You probably remember you received an update right around the beginning of the month. That update is available on the Health Services page on the district's website too, if you need a refresher, or if maybe you missed that one. But all of the guidelines and all of the present requirements related to COVID-19 are on there. And they're really, we've shifted to an environment where it's much more individualized. Folks are making decisions based on what they believe is going to be the best mitigation strategy for them. We're continuing to remind everybody that if you're not feeling well, you should stay home from school. Certainly if you have a fever or a cold or flu-like symptoms, you should remain home until you are well. One of the things we want to continue to do is keep our schools free to the extent possible from that communicable cold, flu, season illnesses that crop up annually. So please continue to be mindful of your own personal wellness, of the wellness of your children. And if you need to take a few days to stay home to get better from a cold or maybe a touch of the flu, please do that. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to your child's school nurse, and we'd be happy to help in any way we possibly can. There will also be a vaccination clinic that is coming up, and thanks so much to Nurse Maggie and our health services team for partnering with Sunshine Pharmacy to offer that to anybody who is interested in participating in that. That will be taking place on the 15th of October. So you can sign up and keep an eye out for additional information related to that vaccination clinic. Okay, So now it is time to get into the questions. And again, if you think of something today, feel free to reach out. If I didn't answer your question fully, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to do so. But these are the questions that we received so far. And as always, I'll read through them and provide the best answer I possibly can. And thanks again, everybody, for taking the time to send along your questions. First question. This is, okay. The hallway traffic during the change of classes at the high school is a fire hazard. You can see images of this on TikTok. Children are shoulder to shoulder and it's dangerous. Is anything being done to address the issue? If not, can it be reviewed? Well, thanks very much for sending this along and for your question. I'm not sure of the pictures or videos on social media, but what I can tell you is that the capacity of the building itself is within the fire code, and the hallways and the size of the hallways and the folks in the building moving through the hallways at that time is within, of course, the requirements related to fire code. That being said, if and when hallways are congested, there are adults moving and helping to move the flow of traffic along. I'm not sure if there was a particular time or area where you saw the video or picture, but happy to talk more about that with you. What I can tell you is, again, we do have adults, team members out there in the hallways every day moving kids along. I'm there a lot. There are times where hallways are more congested than others, depending upon passing. Things have seemed to be flowing a bit better now. It's kind of like every day as you get into the new year, kids are moving along to their classes and kind of finding their routes. So happy to look into that as well, and we could talk more if you want to reach out. Next question, is there a police car present at the high school each day? So while we do not tell the public when police are in and around our buildings, what I can absolutely tell you is yes, police are around our buildings every single day, not just at the high school, but all throughout the school district. Sometimes they're visiting the buildings, sometimes they're walking through, sometimes they're mapping out areas that they're going to be conducting future trainings. Sometimes they're just there, just sitting in a parking lot. So, we're really fortunate that we have that strong relationship with the White Plains Department of Public Safety and the White Plains Police Department, and they are welcome all the time on our facilities and around our campuses. So the short answer is yes. Times vary, but police are always around and always willing to be supportive if needed. What is the current quarantine protocol if a child has COVID? Has it changed? My understanding that's still 5 days, home after testing positive, and then 5 days back to school with a mask. Can you confirm? And also, can a note be sent home to all parents so everyone is clear on expectations? Sure thing. Yeah, actually, I just touched base on this just a couple of seconds ago. So a couple of letters did go home right at the beginning of the month, one related to COVID-19 and one related to monkeypox. Both show what the New York State Department of Health requirements are for treatment and quarantine. And you are correct, the quarantine period has been reduced, and children and anyone really in a school setting after the abatement of symptoms will be able to, and the passing of 5 days, will be able to return to school, of course, as long as they don't have continuing or lingering symptoms, and wear a mask during that period of time. And anyone else can choose to wear a mask any day, whenever they feel that it is in their best interest. Also, the copies of those letters are available on the health services page on the district's website as well. Thank you very, very much for your questions. Next question. Is it possible to ask the teachers at the high school to update grades in Infinite Campus more frequently? Some teachers don't update or correct grades for a few weeks, some over a month. It can become frustrating for students and parents to have to keep asking or checking. Thanks very much for your question. I can tell you that our classroom teachers do work very hard to keep the portals updated with grades. Of course, depends on how quickly you're able to enter them, depending upon the size of the assignment and the level to which the teacher needs to provide feedback. So that's always going to be a little bit different. Some classes are going to be quicker based on assignments or based on the particular nature of that class. But yes, we do want to be able to provide updated grades and any changes to grades in a timely fashion so that parents and guardians are aware of their child's progress, and most importantly, so that our tigers are aware of their own particular progress. I would say that if you're experiencing any concerns, definitely reach out to the classroom teacher and or your child's principal or counselor. Would be happy to help make sure that you're getting the information that you need and keeping those portals updated as close to in real time as possible, with an understanding that there typically is going to be some time required to do the grading and then the inputting of those grades. So it's not necessarily a very, very fast process. Thank you very much for your question. Next question. Hi, will we have snow days this year? New York City is only having remote days, which is really unfortunate with everything the kids have been through. Last year worked well with having some snow days and then using remote days, so we didn't lose days off. Could we do that again? Have real snow days until we run out, if the winter's bad, and then use remote days so we can keep the days off. Thank you very much for your question. So what we have tried to do is we have tried to keep snow days for days where it actually snows. And we tried to use remote or virtual learning days for days where we could have potentially dangerous weather, but it's not nice winter weather. So ice storms and slush and those types of scenarios. That's what we tried to do last year. Worked out okay. There's always feelings on both sides of any decision related to winter weather. But what I can tell you is this. We value snow days. We value the opportunity for children to be able to go outside and play in the snow. So we've not moved away from the traditional snow day. What we would like to be able to do is try to figure out the difference between what's going to be potentially dangerous winter weather and a snow day, and then apply the days appropriately there. So I guess the short answer to your question is yes, we will still have snow days, provided that it's a nice snowy day. And then on days where maybe it's less desirable or not even a good day to go outside, but it's still potentially dangerous, potentially use a remote day. As we get into the winter months, we'll continue to communicate that with you and try to provide you with that information as quickly as possible, as always. Believe it or not, that is the end of the questions that I received so far today. I'm sure Mrs. Torres is taking a look to see if there are any additional questions. But as I mentioned always, you can feel free to reach out at any time. I'm going to be back with you before Halloween, but I do want to just make mention as we get closer to Halloween, we start thinking about if your child participates in trick-or-treating, things like that. Just a reminder to kind of keep top of mind being safe in all that we do with regard to Halloween. And it is a fun holiday for many families and many kids. But I do know that there's been reports on the news, particularly sort of the 24 hours news cycle about, concerns related to Halloween candy or all of those kinds of things, right? We've heard that even growing up as a child. I remember my parents reminding us not to eat candy until we came home, until it got checked, so on and so forth. That's still a great rule. That's still a great idea, and helping to ensure that whatever our children are eating is what they should be eating. And now, it could be something as simple yet as potentially dangerous as an allergy. So as I'm thinking about, we're heading into October tomorrow, just bears repeating as we get closer to Halloween, and there'll be time for another reminder about that. But wanted to share that with you as well. Also wanted to share another thank you. I have heard from a lot of parents and guardians about work that they're doing with their children at home, and a big thanks to our kids too, really trying to be responsible users of social media. I can't stress how important that is enough. And we are grateful for our tigers who let us know if they see something that they're concerned about. We are grateful for our tigers and making good choices when they're using social media. And we're really grateful to our parents and guardians who continue to sort of partner with us and again, sort of repeat that message of making good, positive choices when utilizing social media platforms. It's always a work in progress. We're going to continue to keep providing opportunities for education and reminders, but I did want to just give you an update and say thank you for that. I also want to give a plug and special tip of the hat to our colleagues in all of our school buildings. The work that's been going on throughout the month of September to really ensure that our children are feeling supported, emotionally supported overall, has been extraordinary. Whether it's at the elementary level, the middle, or the high school level, the ways in which our community is coming together to support our children, to make sure that everybody feels and knows that they're seen and heard and valued in our community is really, really important. If your child feels like they're not part of that, or they're not engaged, or you're concerned that maybe they don't have that type of a positive relationship, a positive connection, please connect with us. Please let us know. We want to intervene. Our goal is that every single one of our students in every single building at all of the grade levels knows that they are part of a community. That's really, really important. We don't want any of our children ever feeling like they're out there on their own, or they don't have a support system. So keep your eyes open, as you always do, as we're heading into the new academic year. Just bear in mind that we are ready and willing to get involved and intervene if you feel like something is not going the way you hoped it would go in your child's school experience. That's always something that we're happy to jump in and help. All right, I don't know that I have any additional questions. I will take a quick look and see. And I'm looking at Mrs. Torres, and she says no additional questions. So thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a really wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for taking a couple of minutes, 21 minutes, for a quick update. And thanks to those who sent questions. And again, if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay strong and stay WP proud. Take care, everyone.